Have you ever looked at two businesses that sell almost the exact same thing, but only one of them feels professional, trustworthy, and worth your money? Well, the other one, it feels a little sketchy. Even if you can't exactly put your finger on why. Today, I'm going to tell you what your brain is noticing without you even consciously making the decision. By the end of this video, you'll understand why certain brands earn your trust almost instantly, and why others accidentally push you away. And if you're a designer, a business owner, you'll know how to create a business that people naturally feel confident in. Because good branding isn't just about making things look pretty. It's about making your client feel safe. And psychology, it has a lot to do with it. Let's start with the thing that people don't like to admit. Humans are incredibly judgmental. Not in a mean way, it's just very efficient. Our brains are constantly looking for shortcuts instead of processing every little bit of information. Imagine going to the grocery store. There are hundreds of cereal boxes, thousands of products, and your brain doesn't sit there and analyze every single one. It starts making snap decisions almost immediately. This looks expensive, this looks healthy, this feels premium, this seems like it's made for kids. All those conclusions, they happen before you even read much of anything. And branding works the exact same way. Before anyone reads your mission statement or even compares your prices, before they even look through your portfolio, they are already forming an opinion. The first impression is everything, because it absolutely influences everything that comes after. One of the main reasons that we trust certain brands is consistency. Think about someone you know personally. If they're kind every time you see them, reliable, show up whenever they say they will, eventually you stop worrying if they're dependable. You just kind of expect it. And brands, it works the same way. When every Instagram post, every email, every package, every advertisement, every web page looks and sounds like it came from the same company, your brain starts recognizing that pattern. Our brains love predictable patterns. Predictability, it feels safe, and safe feels trustworthy. But when a company changes its color every single week, use 5 different logos, have formal language on one page and then slang in the other, the experience, it feels disconnected. Even if you can't really identify what's wrong, you notice that something feels off. Consistency, it doesn't make a brand boring. It makes it believable. Now, here's one of my favorite parts as a designer. Fonts absolutely have personalities. Okay, maybe not literally, but emotionally, yes. Imagine receiving a wedding invite. One in a beautiful, handwritten script font. It feels very elegant, right? Now, imagine if you got a wedding invite in Comic Sans. Same information, but a very different feeling. Typography communicates before people read the words themselves. An elegant font, it feels established. Very rounded fonts, they feel friendly. And if you have something that's bold and geometric, it feels very modern. Decorative fonts, they feel very luxurious. That is why typography is such a powerful branding tool. You're not just simply choosing something readable. Okay, well, most companies do. That's why Helvetica is so popular. You're choosing a voice. If your font says luxury, but your writing sounds like a teenager texting their friends, those two personalities start fighting each other. And people will notice, maybe not consciously, but emotionally, absolutely. And this is something that I think gets overlooked. People spend hours choosing colors, days choosing logos. Then they write their website copy like it came from a different company. Imagine if your favorite teacher started talking like a corporate robot. It would feel strange. Or imagine your bank sending you emails full of memes. That would also feel very strange. Neither approach is wrong, but one has a very different voice. Every brand has a personality. Some are playful, some are luxurious. Some are educational, some are adventurous. Your words should enforce the personality, not compete with it. The strongest brands sound like themselves everywhere. After a while, your audience will start to recognize it, even without your logo. And that is what sets apart a truly powerful brand. Let's talk about something that people don't actually notice until it's done very badly. Visual hierarchy. This is simply the natural order that your eye moves through a design. Think of a messy bedroom. Technically, everything is there, but finding anything valuable, it takes real effort. Now, think of someone who has a well-organized room. You instantly know where everything belongs. Good design does the same thing. When headlines are clear and space gives everything room to breathe, the most important information stands out. Buttons are obvious. Your brain relaxes. It doesn't have to do the work. And here's something really interesting. People often mistake easy to understand for professional. That's because reducing mental effort creates a smoother experience. If you have to fight your layout or squint at tiny text, or even search for basic information, that tiny bit of frustration, it gets associated with your brand. But on the flip side, the opposite is true. When everything feels effortless, people assume the company behind it is actually competent. And one thing I noticed from working in design is people rarely notice the tiny details. But what they do notice is the tiny details when they work together. If you have a slightly crooked logo or poor photo quality, inconsistent margins, or even random font changes, or low resolution graphics, individually, all those things are not a huge deal, but together, they quietly communicate to the viewer carelessness. But on the other hand, thoughtful spacing, consistent typography, high-quality photos, well-written copy, and balanced layouts, together that creates something much bigger than the sum of their parts. It communicates intention. People are never going to say, I trust this company because their spacing is consistent, but they absolutely will walk away thinking that this company has their stuff together. And that feeling, it drives decisions. Okay, and here's the next big thing that I wish more people understood. Trust is not the same thing as luxury. Some of the most trusted brands in the world don't look expensive. They look clear, approachable, relatable. They know exactly who they're speaking to. A local bakery, it doesn't need to look like a luxury fashion house. A child's toy company, it shouldn't feel like a law office. The goal should never be to copy exactly what looks premium. The goal is alignment. Visuals, words, audience, your product. They should all tell the same story. And when they do, the trust, it naturally flows. If you're just starting to learn graphic design, I hope this takes some of the pressure off. You don't need to create the flashiest logo in history. You don't need to discover a revolutionary color palette. Every project doesn't need to scream for attention. Your real job here is to help people understand the business, help the customer feel confident, help brands communicate clearly. Design is so much more than decoration. It is communication. Every design decision, it reduces confusion, or with some designers, it adds to it. And the designers who understand people, not just software, they're the ones creating work that lasts. So the next time that you're browsing online or walking through the store, I want you to notice what grabs your attention. What is your first impression? And ask yourself, what made me trust this brand? Or maybe it's even what made me hesitate. And you'll probably start noticing things that you never saw before. Because branding is happening whether we analyze it or not. And once you understand the psychology behind it, you start noticing the tiny decisions that influence why we make the decisions we do. Okay guys, that's all I have for you right now. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more graphic design tips made simple. I post every single week to make you a stronger designer. Not just knowing the software, but understanding the thinking that goes behind design. And I'd love to know in the comments, is there a brand that you trusted instantly? And what do you think really made you trust it? But okay guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!